Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, in this evening, I would like to present to you about my paper. So my paper, namely, student perception from Faculty of Economics student in Yogyakarta about customer decision on saving in Sharia Bank. So I took Yogyakarta, and then my variable is Islamic bank perception and decision making. And my outline, so here is my outline. So to begin with, I will start with introduction, and then continue with literature review and methodology, finding and result, and the last is conclusion. So the first is introduction. So as we know that Islamic banking needs several development to increase the quality and obtain more customer. So the main problem that keeps happen in the Islamic bank is to increase the quality. It can be a product or a services that offer from the Islamic bank, and the quality of the management internal itself. And to obtain more customer, it means that the Islamic bank has to be more good enough to get a customer and attract more customer. And other scholars mention about by upgrading institutional effectiveness and competitiveness. So by upgrading the internal institution, so the Islamic bank can be compete with others conventional bank as well. So when the Islamic bank can upgrade the institution, it means that the management operation and the management internal of the internal itself, and increase the effectiveness and efficiency in the part of Islamic institution itself. It can be increase the competitiveness and get more profit for the Islamic bank itself. And I compiled to the key issues relating to Islamic bank, that about the first is about the level of understanding of the customer. So it means that there are a lot of customer that not choose Islamic bank because their level of the understanding is still low. So even though it is a Muslim, so he he choose another conventional bank rather than Islamic bank, even though he is a Muslim, because the level of understanding about the bank itself is still low. So because we are as a Muslim has to choose the Islamic bank due to the obligation to worship Allah and the support of the Islamic bank itself. And about the delivery and internal evaluation, it means that there are a lot of problems that keep occur in the international body of internal body of the Islamic bank itself, such as the management operation, the employee, the product or services that offer in the Islamic bank itself. And then about the last is service quality of Islamic bank management. So this is the one of the problem that keeps occur in the Islamic bank itself, about the service quality of the Islamic bank itself. Why the conventional bank can attract more customer rather than Islamic bank? Because they offer more service quality and best service quality rather than Islamic bank. So it can be adapted for the Islamic bank itself to increase the service quality in order to attract more customer, and keeps developing the Islamic bank management itself. And next about my research. So my research actually seeks three objectives. So the first one, it attempts to validate the influence of the customer student from the Faculty of Economics student in Yogyakarta to save money in Sharia Bank. So I want to validate about the decision making of the student from the Faculty of Economics in Yogyakarta about saving money in the Sharia Bank. And second is about to investigate the perception of students from the Faculty of Economic in Yogyakarta about the existence of Islamic Bank in Indonesia. So that's why I do the research to investigate about the perception, especially in Yogyakarta, about the existence of Islamic Bank in Yogyakarta itself. And the last is about to examine the perception of economic student in Yogyakarta about decision on saving in Sharia Bank. So after I get perception from the other student in Yogyakarta, I want to examine it, and actually I want to know the decision of saving in Sharia Bank. And next about my literature review. So I took some scholars. The first is the Harun in 1996. So he said that the Islamic banking perspective, with a link with the concept of justice with Islamic bank, and emphasize on two fundamental factors used in Islamic finance: the faith factor or the religious factor, and the profitability factors. So it means that Islamic bank can be choose to the customer. It can be two sides. The first one is a religious factor or faith factor, and profitability factors, or it can be profitable or not. And the second is the premise of growth in Islamic bank rely upon religious belief and plenty of economic determinants from the Islamic banking perspective. So it means that from it has a connection with first paragraph. It means that when a person choose Islamic bank, they rely upon religious belief, and for example such as prohibition of the riba and others. And the last is about other scholars mention that therefore requirement that customers want Muslim want their money security and growth without riba. So it also has a connection with the first and second paragraph about the prohibition of the riba. So why the customer choose Islamic bank? It because a religious factor want to avoid riba, and others is the gain more profitability, and other scholars mention that they want their money in secure. So they want their money to be secure, or there is a security in his money from the Islamic bank. And next about my methodology. So my methodology from the first is a research approach. So I choose a quantitative approach with a closed structural questionnaire through a Google form itself. And the data research, I took a proportional random sampling method, as many as 50 students in Yogyakarta. So I spread the Google form from the internet that I made to the others universities in Yogyakarta, as many as 50 students in my data research. And the last is my instrument of research. I took a statistical analysis using a statistical software of SPSS, and I took research. I examined the research with SPSS too. And the next is here is my findings. So take a look in the table above. So here is the variable that I stated. There is a calculation that I already calculate about F statistic, and F table, sigma F, alpha, R square, and R. So from the table, they show that F count 31.000. It more than F table 3.800 581. with a significant level of F 0.00 less than 0.05. What does it mean? It means that there is a significant influence of the student perception about Islamic bank towards saving interest in Islamic banking student of the Faculty of Economic student in Yogyakarta. So from the finding and the calculation that I calculate, so I can conclude that there is significance from the influence factor, that is student perception about the from the Faculty of Economic in Yogyakarta about the decision in saving in Islamic bank. And I stated about the pie chart too, about the R square determination coefficient. There are two parts in my pie chart. The first one is the pink one, 77.9, and then the dark one is 22.1%. So what does it mean? So R square determination coefficient of 77.9%, and while the remaining is 22.1%, it means that 77.9% is covered in my research, and while the rest in 22.9% influenced by other independent variable, so which are not covered by in my research. It can be from a relative or from a family and others, among others, and it can be a community, an environment, or reference group. So the relationship between student perception of economic faculties in Yogyakarta on saving interest banking can be seen from the multiple R that I stated in my table. So it has a number of 0.883, with it means that there is a very strong relationship category from the perception of from the Faculty of Economics student in Yogyakarta about the decision on saving in Sharia Bank. And while the evidence by the result of the calculation, it can be seen from the test statistic that I also stated in my previous table as well. 31.0, that is more than F table. 3.581 with a significant level F of F 0.00, that less than alpha 0.05. So from the research itself, the result that student perception about Islamic banking have a significant influence on saving interests in Islamic bank. So it means that there is a significant interest from the student of Faculty Economic in Yogyakarta due to decision to save in Sharia Bank. from the calculation that I calculate in my paper, and others based on the analysis of multiple determination coefficient are 2. So the magnitude of the effect is 77.9%. So it means that the number is quite higher, quite big, 77.9%, while the others is from the other independent that there was not examined in my paper or in my research. And how about conclusion and suggestion? So I compiled the conclusion and suggestion itself. So the conclusion is there is a significant effect or significant influence on the on the student perception of Islamic banks and saving interest in Islamic bank in Yogyakarta that I mentioned before in the table, the previous table and previous pie chart about the R square determination, and then the table itself from the F table, and the significant effect from the alpha and significant F. So to conclude that that's why there is a significant influence on the students' perception on the Islamic Bank due to the saving interest in Islamic Bank in Yogyakarta. And the second is and the point two about my conclusion is at 99.9%, while the rest are 22.1% is influenced by other independent variable. There is not examined in my study as I mentioned before in my S square determination. And about the suggestion, so I compiled the suggestion due to with several parties that involved in the Islamic Bank itself. And the first is for student. So for student all around the world and from Indonesia and especially in Yogyakarta itself, who wants to be saving money, especially in the banks, it can be taken as a consideration for saving in Islamic banks itself. So especially for a Muslim, has to be a pioneer to support the Islamic bank itself. And for the other student can be choose Islamic bank as a place to saving money. And for the Islamic Bank in Yogyakarta, to continue to improve the quality of product offered and service. So it means that Islamic Bank has to more innovative in the product offered and the service quality and improve the quality from the internal or external body of the Islamic banks. So when the Islamic Bank can continue to improve the quality and the product offered and service, it can attract more customer to choose Islamic Bank as well, and more people come to be a customer in Islamic Bank. And Islamic Bank itself has to manage and can be a balance between product offered, the management itself, and the Islamic principle itself, and about the profitable. So Islamic Bank has to manage the service quality to become more in Islamic ways, and also get profitable and to compete with other banks as well. That's why Islamic Bank has to do it in order to increase the value or the market share or the profit of the Islamic Bank itself. And the last, for other researchers to take a part in considering the contribution of the influence of other independent variable not examined in this study. So as I mentioned before in my findings and suggestion, so in my R square determination, there are two sides. The first one is 77.9% that is covered in my study or in my research, and while the rest is 22.1% that is not examined in my study because other reason or the to others variable that influence the determination to saving in Islamic banks. Such as a family or a community of the people itself. So that's why for other research, it can be a huge potential to do some research that is not covered in my research itself. So that's all my presentation of my paper today. So hopefully you can get other information or newest information about the Islamic Bank itself. And as a Muslim, we have to support our Islamic financial institution or Islamic bank For example, yeah, we can choose Islamic bank as a saving money, or we can save money in the Islamic bank, or we can get a product from the Islamic bank itself, like a sukuk, or others, or other instrument as well that provided by Islamic bank itself. So that's all. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully it can increase your literature as well. uh, I close it. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.